Okay, cool. So, yeah, as I said before I get into it, thanks Jordan, Keisha, Drama, Mama Bookshop for jumping on. Anyone
Yeah.
else, I'd love to see you. I know you probably are cammed out from doing these, but we're going to be together for a little bit of time. And, I think you can get a lot out of it seeing things, and I get a lot out
Yeah.
of it by seeing you instead of talking to a blank screen. So if
Yeah.
everyone can come on camera, that would be great.
Yeah.
And that's my last request for it.
Yeah, and we're going to give a short introduction before starting once everyone's ready. I'll
Okay.
give everyone about another minute or so. Okay, all right. We have a couple more people in, so let's get started. Again, this presentation is being recorded. My name is Brian Seymour. I am the program manager for Made in Baltimore. We are a program of the Baltimore Development Corporation, which is our city's economic development agency. The work of Made in Baltimore is aimed at supporting and promoting makers and manufacturers here in Baltimore City and helping to grow the buy local movement in the Baltimore region. We offer business development services and resources to small batch manufacturers, makers, and retailers. We do this through programs like this workshop series. Today, we are here with Kim Robinson from 3Points to discuss maximizing your marketing and planning bandwidth and results. We ask that you please remain muted through this presentation. We would love to see your faces if you're comfortable. This is a safe space for learning, so there is no such thing as a bad question. When you have a question, please quietly add it to the chat and it'll be answered during scheduled Q&A segments. Don't feel pressured to keep up with note taking. Again, this workshop is being recorded and will be posted on our website at a later date. Thank you to our parent agency, Baltimore Development Corporation, and thank you to our sponsors, M&T Bank and PNC Charitable Trust. And with that, I will officially give it over to you, Kim.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Brian, for having me. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm really excited to be here. And, before we get really deep into it, I'd love for everyone to, in the chat box, to put their name in, the name of their company, and what they're hoping to get out of this session. And I'll check it out. And it's just really good to have an understanding of what your needs are and what you're looking for and just who you are, so we can create some kind of, more intimacy than just being me right here talking to people and you don't know me and I don't know you. So please throw your name into the chat and your business and what you like to get out of it, and I'll check it out. So while you guys are doing that, I will go through what our objectives are. So this workshop, as Brian said, it's called Marketing Made Easy, Maximize Your Marketing Planning and Results. It's something that is really, really important to me, that I love sharing with people and helping them with solving the challenges that they face with their respective businesses. So we'll first hit on our objectives. So this is what I want to accomplish for this workshop for you guys. I want you to be able to come out of this with this planning framework to maximize your marketing planning and results, as it's noted in the title. And also, I'd like for you to begin to achieve internal clarity relating to your business, to be able to be free of things that hold you down, little like just dents in the road that hold you back, where you'll have a clear idea what you want and what's important to you within your business, that you can march forward as quick as possible. Then I want to make an effective use of your resources and bandwidth. I hope that you're able to, even most small businesses are working with a small amount of resources and limited bandwidth. So I want to help give you back more of those and be able to make the most of it. Cool. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Elise. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Yvonne. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Ashley. Keisha, everyone. Thanks a lot for throwing your stuff out there, in there. Cool. So first, this is our agenda. So first, I'll go into about me. Then we'll have a quick group discussion. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys relating to marketing and your challenges and what you face, so I can understand. And again, this is an interactive workshop where you're going to be able to provide a lot of feedback and things, so we can build things that are specifically for your needs and challenges. Then we'll review the planning framework that I've built out, that you guys will be able to use. Then I'll kind of go through the business landscape to help you understand what are the common things that your business face within this landscape and why it's pertinent for you to plan. And then we'll take a quick 5-minute break, And then we'll begin the planning work session where everything I've told you about, you'll actually get to put into action through a template that I'll provide to you to build out a plan relating to all these sections in here. Then we'll go through next steps in terms of what I think you should be doing next, questions that you may have, and then we'll end after that. So I'm Kim Robinson. I'm a marketing expert and coach. I'm the founder of 3 Points, a marketing resource that helps self-funded creative small businesses like yours with limited means get customers and grow. Go to 3pts.co/welcome. That's my landing page. And 3 Points is membership-based and free. As a member, you'd receive a weekly email from me that's chock full of advice, content, and opportunities designed for small businesses like yours. Membership also includes access to a community of small businesses just like yours and vetted marketing vendors if you're looking to hire people. My goal is to empower self-funded small businesses with resources, community, and knowledges to help them get customers and grow. Previously, I worked at Red Bull for 5 years in marketing. I worked at Complex Media. I worked at the Fader and a bunch of other places. Those are my strengths. I'm from Baltimore myself. I've lived a lot of different places, but Baltimore is definitely home. And I currently reside in Brooklyn, New York, and I've been in New York for over 10 years now. So before we dig deep and go even further, I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of a few key questions that will help us get the most out of this session and help frame up what your challenges are and how I see that this framework can help. So the 2 questions I have for you are, what is your marketing challenge and why is it a challenge? And I'd like for you to write it into the chat box for me so I can be able to see it. So an example of that is I cannot get new customers. I have the same 50 customers that buy from me and I can't get new customers. Why is it a challenge? Because I don't know how to do it, or the things that I'm doing right now aren't achieving that goal. So I'd love to hear from everyone. What are your challenges relating to marketing and why are they challenges? Yeah, higher profile leads clients. I'm working with a furniture design studio right now who is trying to deal with the same thing. They get a lot of individual customers, but they're trying to get more commercial business that's like more bigger orders to help sustain them and grow their business. Anyone have anything else? Customers in a process. Yeah, I'm glad you're saying that. That's a key thing for me. Okay, getting customers outside of family and friends. Yep, that's a common thing. New to business, not sure where to look for clients interested in interior design services. Anything else before we jump ahead? Where to market? Yeah, cool. Reaching new customers, developing interesting content, illustrating the functionality of your product. Okay. Introvert, hard to put self out there, self-conscious, confidence. Okay, cool. And so I've spent 1.5 years meeting and connecting with small business owners like yourselves. About 2 years ago, after working in big corporate America, working in marketing in a lot of different roles, I discovered that my passion was helping others solve challenges and advance their ideas. A friend of mine started a business and I helped him, and I didn't want to just help one person. I wanted to help a lot of people. And but before I began the journey, it was important to me that I learn. I don't think in any situation it's important to understand and know people, even if you have to get a composite before you walk in and say, hey, I know what it is. There's too many experts and gurus out there who say they tell you what to do or what's right or what's wrong. You know what's best for you, and it's important to people understand and have that empathy for what you're going through and be able to bring solutions that reflect what your needs are. So that's what my framework of how I've approached with my business and how I do it. So in this last year of meeting, interviewing, talking to and helping small businesses just like yours, I've just looked to build out a sustainable solution that can help your business. And it reminds me of a personal situation that I went through in life that I think mirrors and created a process that you'll be able to use to help you and that we'll go through today. So that reminds me of the city of Santa Fe, New Mexico. So before I address Santa Fe, New Mexico and its impact on my life, I have to go a little bit further so it makes sense to you guys. But understand that Santa Fe is a story about my wife and I creating the lives for ourselves that we wanted. So I'd been married for a few years, and at that point, we were both in our early to mid 30s, and we were beginning to think about our future beyond what we were going to eat for dinner. So we were adulting, a phrase kids use today for, just it was beginning to set in. And we need to start figuring out our long-term plans, retirement, saving for a house family so we could be happy. The problem for us was that we didn't know where to start. And because of that, we felt overwhelmed. We were blissfully ignorant, but it wasn't good for us. And we knew that life was going to change and we needed to confront it. So we knew if we weren't honest with ourselves, it was going to be a problem in the short and long term. So we set an intention like you do in yoga. And with that, we prioritized planning our life. And the process was intimidating because there was so much information and noise of what to do and how to do it. We had friends who gave us advice that, while great, added to our inability to pursue a plan. It was information overload. I bought a book called The One-Page Financial Plan, which became a really good guide to help us face our phobias and plan our future. And the book taught me a few things that are going to come into play as we go through this, is that it told us to say out loud and write down what was important to us short-term and long-term, to us, not to anyone else. And from there, we were instructed to create goals reflective of our values. What did we want that reflected who we were? And before we could create that roadmap to help us reach that goals, we need to look under the hood of our current finances and habits. It was tough, but it was worth it because we were being honest with ourselves. Then we need to take all that information and build a roadmap to help us get it to the place that we wanted to be. And the best advice that the book gave was for us to have our planning meetings anywhere but home. We went to coffee shops and for walks. We eventually decided that we needed to leave the state entirely for our meetings, and we headed to Santa Fe, New Mexico for vacation. And we used half of the vacation to talk out our feelings and our wants. We cried, we fought, and ultimately we came out of the trip happy with a plan. And planning made life and the small decisions we encountered afterward easier to deal with because we had a one-page plan that was very simple to refer to. It also helped quell the noise around us, all these things of what to do and just how overwhelming it can get with trying to figure out what you want and how you're going to do it. We were secure and confident in our actions going forward because it was working towards a North Star that we decided on. We had clarity, and it's been 6 years since we did that trip, and it's all been worth it. So to break it down, we said what we wanted, we assessed ourselves, and then we built out a plan to make our lives what we wanted to be. So this framework solves the same issue in business that it does in life, and it's what I'll be sharing with you here. So the way I'd like you to think of it is that think of it like a house, in terms of what you're building with your business is a house, and there's many ways to build it. And you have to think in terms of layers and functions to ensure that your house is going to be sound and can withstand weather, all the issues that can happen relating to it. So in terms of the story relating to building out my life plans, here's how I broke it down. So the plot of land underneath your house is your self-inventory. What do I want? What am I thinking of? What do I see for myself? The next part was foundation, planning. What do we want? How are we going to do that? And just talking those things out and writing them down was really crucial for us. Next was auditing our finances. And that was just looking at our bank account and saying, wow, we spend $100 a month on this, we spend $100 a month on that, or we have student debt here, what should we pay there? Just opening things up and talking about it. Then you have all the different tools that you can use to help you with reaching your goal. So it goes like this: the self-inventory, your planning, and then we did we audited our finances and we set a goal. And then we had to identify the tools that were going to help us with reaching that goal. So the tools like Building a house, hammers, screwdrivers, files, etc., where investments, savings, debt management, insurance, all the things that people talk about, it helped make it a lot simpler to deal with when we didn't think of, most people start with, oh, I need to get this kind of tool, or I need to get this kind of savings account, or invest in this stock. No, you need to decide who you are and what you want and plan, and then that's going to guide you through everything and make everything really simple and easy to deal with. So this framework applies in business. So this is business. Your self-inventory for you and your business and what you truly want out of it is important, because that's going to be the plot of land. You should not be talking about tactics and all these things. And at big businesses I've worked at, we did the same thing. This is not something I'm just saying for individual businesses. So it's important that you do your self-inventory, a business audit in terms of what your business is and what it wants, and then you're going to have to conduct a brand inventory. Brand inventory is so key in terms of that does all the heavy lifting relating to marketing for you. And then this is the part that everyone loves, marketing tactics. Facebook ads or Instagram ads, community, email, social media, that all serves in relation to your business goal. So I'm going to help you guys with getting these aspects of your plan dialed, so then you can be able to feel comfortable and have clarity as you go forward relating to it. So this is the framework, and it makes marketing and life a lot easier. So first, you're going to do a self-inventory, which sets your intention. It's going to create awareness of your resources. There's things that you have access to, people you have access to, that are going to be able to help you, but you're not thinking of it. So when I started my business, one thing that was important for me was to think of all of my networks, even outside of the things that I could think of. And some of those things were able to help me. So you have things around you that you're just not thinking about at this point. So you need to be aware of those resources and opportunities available to you. And if you need them and use them, it'll be a part of your planning later. Then your business audit. This is going to provide you with direction, set guardrails of this is not what we're dealing with. A lot of owners, founders deal with being overwhelmed with so many things coming at them. You don't have to be overwhelmed, because you'll be able to say, no, that's not what we do. This is what we do. And you can go forward in that direction of what you want. And it's going to help you reduce decision fatigue. Founders like yourselves need less decisions to make in the day-to-day so you can live in your zone of genius. So how can we reduce that? You do it by handling everything up front. And just like how I did with my life planning, when someone says, hey, we should take a trip and go a bunch of places for a bunch of months that's going to spend money. No, I'm really dedicated to reaching a goal of saving X amount of money. I know I can't do that, so I have to stay on my plan. It's tough, but I set the priority for myself. And then it allows me that I don't have tension or issues in making decisions I know are going to benefit me in the long run. And then brand inventory is going to align who you are, your offerings, and how it's communicated, and then give you efficient planning and action. Like I said, brand is one of the most crucial things for you, and it's widely misunderstood. And I'm going to help you understand it in a new way and how you can use it, that once you do it, you really don't even have to do marketing in a sense, because there are people looking for what you're providing, but you need to be clear on how you communicate it to them and understanding them. And then lastly is objective setting. We're going to help you align and focus your efforts in one direction. And then we're going to eliminate the noise, and it eliminates the noise and confusion for you. And planning isn't sexy. It's some people see it as restrictive, and it's not. It's going to give you the flexibility because you're set and clear on what works for you. I'm not going to tell you what works for you. You're going to say what works for you, and you won't be all over the place. And the more you plan, the more you're actually going to be able to be spontaneous to things that come around you and decide on things that you want. And you can adjust yourself or what you want as you go along based on yourself and your business and your needs. So these are the things that most people think of when they say marketing. They say, oh yeah, we got to get a podcast going. We have to do advertising. We have to do social media. This stuff is important, but don't go to this stuff immediately. Even if you're doing these things, that's fine. But you need to assess and understand it, because what if these things that you're doing aren't really supporting your long-term goal, or maybe they don't deliver towards that? I want to help you make your actions as meaningful, as efficient as possible, so that you're not wasting your time or other people's time, and it's helping you reach your goals. So these things are in another workshop that I do, and it's fun because this is the stuff people love to talk about. But if you can't tell me what your plan is and you're not tight on what your brand is, then we can't really figure these things out because you don't have the basic foundations of your house. So to drive it home again, your tactics are your tools, are the tools to build your house, not your house. Let's get our foundation and other core elements established, and then we can use the tools to finish the job. So a benefit that I'd say for this framework is that clarity kills drama. It's one of my favorite phrases ever. When you know who you are, think about yourself personally, things that we've gone through when we were younger, things we dealt with on an individual basis. It's because maybe you didn't know what you wanted as a younger person, but once you got older, you were like, no, this is what I like, this is what I want, this is what I like to eat. You don't have conflict in your mind because you're clear. And as a business owner, you need the same thing. Create that clarity for yourself and it'll kill the drama. So imagine for yourself that after you do a framework like this, you're going to be able to identify the best tactics to help you achieve your goals. Your brand's going to do your heavy lifting for your marketing. You're going to have all your actions in day-to-day are going to work towards your goal. You're going to have a reduction in your bandwidth and resource issues that you could face. You'll be able to properly communicate your business to others. And when you hire people or ask someone to help you, they're truly going to understand what they're working towards because you're going to say, here's what we're working towards and here's what it is and here's what it is not. A lot of times that complexity of I'm this, I'm that, and people being misunderstood is what leads to people not really being able to do the work for you that you're hiring them for. So let's make your communication as tight as possible so you can get that. And then you'll be able to determine whether something's not working or not relating to your marketing. So you can just say, I'm not doing this anymore. It's really tough to leave something when you've been doing it, but this is going to allow you the ability to do that. And then lastly, the framework, you're going to be able to properly plan and execute marketing that drives dollars to your business. This is one of the most critical things that I want to drive home to you. Marketing serves your business to drive money. Marketing isn't about trying to get a pop in Instagram because everyone has it and you want to be amongst the influencer class. It's about driving awareness on your Instagram to help convert people to get to your website, to then see an offering that you have to buy something. So it's really important to understand that marketing is a tool to support your business operations. It's not something that operates outside. And I'm going to show you how to think about business and then marketing supporting that, because a lot of people just think it's something else entirely. And it's really something that's simple, a matter of how you communicate yourself to others that are looking for you. And when I worked at a place like Red Bull, we planned once a year. And it made the world of difference for us that we were able to say, here's what our goals are. And sometimes it took us a while to figure out what our goals were. But once we figured it out, we built a plan and we say, here's all our tactics. Here's who we're going to work with. And we've reached out to people. And sometimes this didn't relate to any budget. This does not, don't get it confused and think planning means you have to have budget. It's just saying what you want to do and then figuring out what the means are that you achieve that. And there's so many flexibilities. One of the biggest misnomers is that you have to have money. It's more about what your goals are and how you do it. So we would set up these plans, build them and execute them. And when we did them when we would do what we were doing throughout the year, it was so easy because we didn't have to think, why are we doing this? It was all marching towards the same direction. And you can do that as an individual or with a group of people you're looking to lead. So now that we've talked about the framework and the benefits of it and what it is overall, I'm going to quickly review the business landscape with you that you and I exist within and why it dictates that you properly plan to help you sustain and build a sustainable business and helps you like beat competition that's around you. So when I was growing up, these were the options that I had to drink. In terms of non-water out of the spigot, faucet, as far as I remember. Mountain Dew should be on there as well. And these are the options that are this is probably 0.05% of the options in America right now or the globe. And what does this represent? This says that we went from a time in the 80s when I was growing up where you had so few options, and now you have a billion options. There's so many options for beverages. And this is the situation across every industry, for content, for websites, for everything you want. There's a billion options for it. And your businesses are a perfect example of this new environment in this world. And it's something called the long tail model. So the general idea behind this is that our culture and our economy has shifted away from a focus on small numbers of hits. So think back to, like, again, the 80s, MTV, Michael Jackson. The biggest things took over the culture and were those things. And the internet and technology as a whole and things becoming cheaper has made it that we are all publishers. We can all say our thoughts. We can all create content. We can all create music. There are now, we've gone away from there being a small number of hits, mainstream products and markets, to now where there's a long tail of sort of kind of popular and niche products. And this has been happening over the last 30 years, where it's, as the cost of distribution and production, there's now a lesser need to lump products and consumers into one place. So you have regional things, you have hyper-local things, and you have a billion options. The biggest businesses in our world now operate servicing across all of these, like these quadrants. So think of Netflix. Netflix doesn't have to have a huge show that goes big. They can have a bunch of small shows that are niche that go to someone. So I have friends who watch the Great British Bake Off, and I got friends who watch Girlfriends in the Game on there. And I have friends who watch other shows that they love. They're servicing super niche people that have certain things, and they don't care if it's the biggest thing in the world that people care about. And what I'm trying to get across to you is that we all exist in this world now, that this is how it goes. So let's take the beverage model that, at the top of the head where it's highly popular, you have those drinks from back then. But then in the niche, in the long tail, you have all these businesses that some of you may have never heard of. These businesses are doing well and fine for who they are and how they're developing. What I'm saying is that think of the industry you exist in. Think of it even locally or nationally. There's a huge business that that everyone buys from relating to this, and then there's you in the niche. And niche doesn't mean bad. These are businesses that do very well and service a specific customer with a specific thing, and there's been an explosion of them. And all these businesses exist within the long tail. You exist within the long tail. I do. And that means that competition is everywhere. And we're all competing with each other because we can all set up a Shopify store. We can all get a Wix account. We can all get a Twitter account. And we can all manufacture and distribute product and have it shipped to people. So it means that we're all doing the same thing. And with that is that means you can't do the same thing that everyone else does in communicating your business and marketing it. What you have to do is be strong in your fundamentals, because most people don't do those things. So getting customers' attention now it's crazy difficult because of the noisy landscape that they exist in and all of the options that we have to drink or to do anything. Think of anything. I think last one is Spotify is a great example of it, where when I was growing up, you only had so many places you could buy music and you had so many artists you knew of. Now I have friends who no one knows about that can release their music, get it on Spotify, and people can listen to, and they have 1,000 fans and they're able to lead a life. And that's how all these businesses now are. So with that, you can't afford not to plan. It's very, very important. It's so crucial to you to build plans. And some of these things may be things that you've seen when people like build a business plan, because some of those things, they may sound hokey to you. They help set you up to answer questions and give you strategy relating to how you're going to present yourself and what you're going to do, that you can just turn things on and you don't have to think about it. And that's how it helps. So what we're going to do is work on we're going to work on a plan, and we're going to build it out together. And I'm going to share a Google Doc with you guys in the chat that I'd like for you to download, and you can be able to check out, and I'll review each section with you. And I'll be able to answer any questions that you have about it. So before that, hold on. So yeah, we got a 5-minute break that we can take really quick. Everyone can get a water, go to the bathroom, what have you. Yeah, let's hit it. We'll give it one more minute. Okay. Okay, let's all come back. Whoever can jump on camera, that'd be great. I put a link inside the chat. It should be available to everyone if you click on it. And what you do is just, you can just look at it for the time being, but you can make a copy of it. So in your Gmail, you just go to File, make a copy, and you can copy it to your Google Drive. So you have an editable version of it. Does anyone have any issues with accessing it?
Yeah, I am.
What's your issue?
I'm clicking on it and it's saying that access is denied and that you need access, ask for access or switch to an account with access. So
You know what? I thought I did that right. It said anyone with the link. Okay. Here, I'll just share with everyone, whoever requests.
okay.
But it should be open now for anyone. But if not, send it to me and I'll add you in. Sorry about that. These things are always so funky with sharing Google Docs that you make it open and then it shows
It's working.
that it's
It's
working
working.
now.
Yep, I'm in there.
Great, great, great. So everyone can jump on now. Perfect. I see a bunch of people. Perfect. So this is a template that I made for you that you can easily fill out. And we're going to go through it together piece by piece. And you're more than likely, you're not going to have enough time to finish it because it's a good amount. But it's something you're going to need to spend time with so you have your prompts. And then it's going to be something that's really powerful for you to be able to use to spur thinking and conversation within your business. So, okay, give me one quick second. Okay. So the planning work session. So as I said before, in terms of our different sections that we have, so we have the self-inventory that you see there. There's a tab for that. There's a business audit tab. There's a brand inventory tab, and there's an objective setting tab. And these tabs, whoops, sorry. These tabs are all filled with questions and prompts that you should answer that is basically writing your plan. And it helps you with like identifying things and just getting tight and clear on really key things. And I'll go through each tab with you. I'm trying to open mine up again. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. So those are the four aspects of the framework we're going to go through right now. So first is the self-inventory. What this is this is going to help you highlight and align your personal goals, inspiration, assets, and more to support your business development. You are your business. You're your biggest strength. The majority of the people who start businesses like yourselves do it because you had some innate ability or creative skill or something or something that you're able to use that made the foundation of your business. And it's important that you like write that stuff down and you're clear on that because that could end up helping you build out what's your bio, or it could help you figure out your branding. All these things are raw data that you're going to input in that then you can take and build to then effectively communicate yourself and then use tactics in the future. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I'm going to do this. And it's like, oh, what should I do? Well, you're going to have your answers because you've already written down those things pertaining to who you are, who your customer are, and what those things are. So I'll go first into the self-inventory tab. Questions like what motivated you to start your business? Why are you doing this? What businesses, people, or things inspired you in creating your business? How does your background or past experience inform your business? What skills and abilities do you possess? What do you value? What are your personal and professional networks? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And then how do you define success? One thing that I've come across is that some people aren't looking to scale a business and have it go big. Some people say, I'm just happy with this being a hobby, and I respect that, whatever they want. But it's important that you be clear on that with yourself, because if you only want it to be something, then maybe you don't need to jump through all the hoops that other people are looking to do to be able to scale or make your business sustainable. If you say, I want my business to be something really big, then you can build something that kind of matches that to start growing towards that. But it's really important with the self-inventory to get clear with yourself, the same way I did about my finances, about like, well, you know what, I don't want children and I just want to have like a house I can retire in. I've made that decision and I could change it, but here's what I'm going to do. So that's just, it's going to help you with getting tight on with yourself and clear that you can move forward. Then we have the business audit, and this is going to help you create high-level clarity and direction to inform your marketing planning. So a lot of these things are things that would have been probably in a business plan that you've filled out. And if you have these answers, great. But these answers are key to like what's going to be as a part of your marketing and help arm you with the assets and resources you need for differentiation, for helping you identify what you want and what you do not want. There's a way you want to grow your business and there's a way you don't want to grow your business. Ask those questions and answer them so then you can be able to go forward. So some of the things I have here, of course, are business mission. That's a simple thing, of course. Vision statement. But while these things are like thrown out and people just take them as like, oh, you write it and you just leave it behind. The vision statement is something that it can be small. It does not have to be global takeover. It doesn't have to. It could be something of a reputable source of blank product for people in the local Baltimore area. Simple as that. It could be something that is super achievable for you and means a difference to you in helping people. So values are another thing there. What do you want your business to be known for? How do you want to grow? How don't you want to grow? What's working and what's not working relating to your business? Asking those questions about like, oh, I know that this works. Well, maybe if something does work, then you can focus on it because you haven't been identifying and thinking about it. And maybe something doesn't work. So it's almost like Marie Kondo's, like the joy of tidying up. You can remove things from you that don't spark joy or bring dollars to you. You have to ask and answer these questions and face them, because if you don't, you could just sit in a cul-de-sac and just not do anything about it, and it could be bad for you. Another thing is, what's your business's best asset? That's you probably, or maybe it's something else. Writing those things down is important because it could help you identify what could eventually be a marketing tactic that you can lean into. And then another thing I have here is conducting a rough estimate inventory of how you and your team's time is spent. Think about how your time is spent and write it out, and be honest with yourself about what's possible and what's not. And it just makes it clear that as you're identifying and figuring out things, you can say, I know I can do X, Y, Z. So then you're not writing an IOU deciding things that you weren't going to be able to do or pull off because you don't have the time. So even if you make time for an hour a week, that's your time, that's whatever you have. But it's important to just be clear so you don't take on something that you can't actually do, and you're clear. Next is brand inventory. So this is going to help you define your business, who your business is, and the value that it provides to customers. Now, brand is the most misunderstood thing of all time, I feel like, in terms of what it is. So I'm going to really dive in here for you guys and kind of talk this one out. So what is brand? Brand is a symbol of trust. It's a set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that, taken together, account for a customer's decision to choose one product or service or other. Brand is a person's gut feeling about a product, service, or organization. It's a nonverbal promise to your customer. So think of the products that you buy or things you engage with on a daily basis. Think of Made in Baltimore and your experience in working with them and the feelings and thoughts that come from that, in terms of you're able to get experiences like this and it's dependable, people are friendly. Those things are very important. That what is that larger essence, that intangible thing in the air that you're looking to communicate to a customer and offer to them. And that's what the things in this brand inventory speak to. What does your brand stand for? What is your brand's value proposition? Meaning, what promise do you want to make and keep to them? Who is your product for? Being very specific about who that product is for, so you can focus on that person. You're not My product is not for who I work with is not small businesses that are technology VC funded businesses. I work with small businesses that are self-funded, creative businesses that typically are a founder, one or two people. And then I concentrate on that because I can't concentrate on the world. You have to be something to someone instead of nothing to everyone. You know, who is your product for? How does it help them? Why will they care? What do they want? How is your brand different from the competition? What is your brand story? What are you selling beyond your product or service? People buy things bigger than a product. So a great example of that is someone doesn't want a 1/4-inch drill. They want what that 1/4-inch drill is going to do for them. So if I buy a drill and I use it to put up this thing, this picture behind me, I want it because I want decoration, because I want to feel good about my place. What is that larger thing that that product is providing? Now you could be like, a drill's a drill, but a drill enables and helps me to reach a certain state that I want of happiness or whatever. And all products bring those things. They bring us security, they bring us safety, they bring us everything, lovers, everything we want relating to life. So what is the larger thing that your business is bringing to the table? And what are your brand's values? That's another key thing. And are you communicating your brand across channels effectively? And what should customers think about when they think of your brand? So these questions in the brand inventory are really like perfect batch of things that you can review and answer. It's going to just get you very, very clear on what your offering is. And the best brands, the statement is that when you know who you are, you don't need to compete. So everyone's offering the same thing, but there's a product that you go with even though there's other things because you know why you like it. I buy Brawny paper towels. Why? Because I think that they collect and pick up water better than the ones that my wife buys. Those ones frustrate me. So I only rock with Brownie. And you can't tell me anything other than buying those kind of paper towels. You have products like that in your life that you buy from and that bring something to you. How can you deliver that same feeling through your messaging, through your packaging, and your actual service and one-on-one with people to have them feel that? Just saying, here's my product, that it's not going to stand out because people can get that product anywhere. And what makes someone buy from you? So these are the questions that you need to answer. And brand is not your logo. It is not, your logo is a symbol of your brand. The visuals that you decide to relate and connect to your brand is the things that are almost like muscle memory, bring back what the feeling, that larger thing of your promise that you're offering to your customers. That's why, I mean, a funny example of it, because I love marketing and everything. In hip hop, producer tags, where you hear the person's name in the beginning, where if you, in 10 years ago, when a Mike Will song would come up and they say, Mike Will made it, that is him branding and with his logo as attached to it. But the feeling, the song, the way it sounds, you knew his song. Labels, record labels that I love have certain things that they get across. So your visuals and how you get things across should reflect the larger essence of what you're doing. So your logo is not your brand. So a value proposition, it's a statement that answers the why someone should do business with you. My value proposition is marketing made easy for small business. Simple as that. My business makes marketing easier for small businesses. What is your value proposition? When you answer that, that answers and creates the roadmap for you, and you can answer that. And of course, you can get help with that, but you have the answers, but you just have to ask yourself the right questions and get assistance with that. So I'll give you guys a chance to read this while I get a drink of water, but these are the things that brand does that I think really exemplify it in a really strong manner. And if you're able to hit on these, then you've done 90% of marketing. Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about brand before I go into the objective setting section is that think of brand also on an individual level, who you are when you get jobs, how your friends see you. When I post on Instagram for 4 to 5 months a bunch of photos of food because I cook almost every night and I make something different every night. I haven't eaten the same dinner for almost 5 years. I eat something different all the time because I'm just super fascinated with cooking. I was afraid of it before, and now I've gotten better at it, and I like to make something new. But my friends see me post about that every day, and now I'm Kim, the cooking guy. And everyone's thinking about that, and that's my brand unofficially to my friends. So it's how you communicate yourself all the time to people individually, the work that you do and what you do for people that's going to help you out with figuring that stuff out. So cool. So next is objective setting, my favorite part. So you go to that tab and you'll see brainstorm section, list of objectives in OKRs, and we'll break this down. So objective setting is for you to create milestones to sustain and grow your business. If you don't set a direction for what you want and just say it, it's not about coming up with an idea, you are not going to get there. So set that milestone and it's going to help you sustain and grow your business. It's so simple and basic, just like I talked about for my financial plans. My financial plan is to just have 6 months worth of savings in case of emergency. Okay, now I know what I need to work on. I'm going to save some money to do that and reach that. So what we're going to do is talk about objective setting. So the way it's listed in this document is you're going to have to brainstorm what you have there. And I've already listed some questions there. What is needed to accomplish my mission? I already know my mission because I wrote it down earlier. What do I need to accomplish this year? Or what do I want in the next 3 months to 6 months for my business? And then what are my current needs? What is my business's current priorities? And then you can add in other questions. All these questions that I'm giving you guys, feel free. Take it wherever you want because it's really important just to begin asking yourself questions and doing that. And when you do it, you release so much of the anxiety and tension of planning and trying to figure out what to do because you have the answers and you can get support from people to help you along with your journey when you know what you want. And then after you list out your brainstorm, then you're going to list objectives in terms of just random things of here's what I want, here's this thing. And then you're going to list out your OKRs. And OKRs mean objectives and key results. And your OKRs should be SMART goals, meaning specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and time bound. It's very important because it's easy just to say, oh, I'm gonna be big. Being big, what does that mean? You have to create steps for yourself to be able to get to that. So the way to think of this is your key results relating to if I do this amount of thing, then I'm going to be able to hit my business objective. So to do objective setting and to do SMART, I'm going to tell you some best practices where you're going to have to use specific wording. You can't be vague. You got to use measurable goals, and you have to be realistic about what you can accomplish. And don't push for something you can't. Take it simple and strip things back to make it as manageable for yourself as possible. Pick a goal relevant to your business. Make your goal time bound by including time frame and deadline info. Here's some examples of what's not SMART goals. Increase revenue, get more customers, get 150,000 followers on Instagram. Even though that has a number in there that's measurable, if I have 1,000 followers on Instagram, how am I going to get to that quick? You can go and buy them maybe, but that's probably not authentic and going to like truly get you to where you want. Increase the size of the business, roll out a new product, get PR. You really need to be specific. And I have an example that I gave to you. So before we go into that, if you check on within the doc, there is a completed objective setting section here that I'll just bring in here actually, that you'll see, which is same thing for an example that I'm going to give you where we have increased revenue, 2 part-time hires, and get new customers. This is the work in progress list of objectives. And then we have OKRs. So I'll give you the example that I have in mind here. So the example is a girl I know named Christine. So Christine runs a home decor product business, and she's been in business for 5 years, and she sells online. And she saw that she wants to scale her business by creating new products, but she needs additional revenue and 2 part-time hires to make it happen. And designing products, decorating spaces, and building relationships with clients is her strength and passion. This is what she's identified as her strength, and she's going to really focus on that. What's not working she's going to look at what's working and not working for her. What's working is her emails do really well, her customer service is really good, and it gets really good reactions with people because she works with people one-on-one. What's not working is trying to grow a following on IG. She's been focusing on that. It's not going anywhere. So she's going to keep her account, but she's not going to concentrate on something that's not doing her good. She's going to focus on what she does good and get as much out of it as possible. SEO, she's going to ditch that. Doing paid ads on social media isn't working for her. She'll come back to these things later, but she's going to focus on what she does well. So, and she did her brand inventory, and she saw that she doesn't have a brand story. Why should someone buy her home decor products over someone else's? What's unique about her? And she needs to be consistent and have it be across her channels. And then she needs to refine her value proposition. Again, what makes her worthy of doing business with in terms of communicating it. And then she needs to also identify and understand her customer. She has a lot of different people that she sees, but she needs to focus on one person so she can get more of those people instead of saying it. And by limiting, you're not limiting your customers. You're actually giving your bandwidth and resources the best shot to focus and like give you to be able to really focus on one customer in particular. So the example that you see in the doc that I gave you guys is the OKRs for her. So she wants to increase her revenue by 15%. That's what she said. And to do that, she's going to do 3 things. She's going to measure her email open rate of the emails that she does and see if it, to make sure the open rate is 22%. Because right now she sees that when she sees emails, 10% people. So she's going to concentrate on what she does well, email, and do it better. And how can she get it up to 22%? Because she thinks that if she can get her email open rate up, that she will increase revenue. And then she's going to start doing monthly decor webinars where she sells her decor product, but now she's going to help people with understanding how to decorate and how to use it, how to maintenance their product. So she's going to have monthly webinars, and she wants to have 25 people at them a month. And she thinks that if she can do this monthly with this amount of people, it's going to increase her revenue by 15%. Another thing she's going to do is she's going to participate in more pop-up markets regionally in Baltimore, Philly, and DC. So she's going to go across the board, and she's going to do these 3 things to help her with that. Her timeline is July through September 2021. Then she's got a progress chart there. You're going to tell her where she's at, and then she has ownership of where it's at. I threw down my name as an example. Sorry. And then the other examples are, increase her customer contacts. She wants to increase her list size because she thinks if she increases her list size, then she's going to be able to increase her revenue. So how is she going to do that? She thinks if she can get 5 collaborations with local social content creators that reach her target customer, because now she knows who her target customer is and she's very clear on it, and she can explain it to those people that she's looking to work with, that by doing that, she can get 100 new emails, and this is manageable, 10% of her list. So her list is 1,000, and she wants to get 100 new people on her list. So she's going to work on that from July to December and work to reach that goal. And trying to get 100 new emails in that amount of time could be challenging, but she's going to work on it over that time. And then to also get more people, she's going to work to try and get a local news mention or a feature. So local news, who maybe because she worked on her story. Maybe her story is compelling. Maybe someone with a local blog, or maybe the actual TV local news or radio would want to talk about it. That would be super rad if she was able to get that. So she's going to work between July and December to make that happen with the goal of getting helping her towards her goal of getting 100 new contacts for her list. So in the document that I gave you guys, you'll see that it's all in there, and you can check that out. It's all written out, so you can follow that same template and go from there. So that's a lot, I know, in terms of all those steps, but like I said, if you can do this over a week or a few days and keep tightening it up, you don't have to think about a lot of this stuff after, and it's going to make your marketing actions, and when you get to tactics and planning, that much tighter, and you're going to be organized, and you'll be able to build a plan that's based on a solid foundation. You just shouldn't go out and just do things willy-nilly. You should really always ask questions of why. So yeah, that document is your guys. Please download it for yourselves. Email me, let me know if you need it. But the next steps that I see for you guys as we begin to wrap up is you're going to complete and refine the planning framework. And I want you to focus specifically on your brand inventory. Be clear on that. Get super clear on that. And fill out all your sections and take a stab at it. Nothing is written in ink. Don't take it seriously that, like, if you write out the wrong mission statement or something you change later. I've been working on my planning for my business for a year and a half, and I've gone through so many changes, and it happens. Like, you don't have to be perfect. None of this stuff is like that serious, and we have to be comfortable with having challenging conversations with ourselves and just being honest, and you'll be in a good place. And then once you get that plan to a good place later, then once you're truly done, you're going to assess and identify your tactics to reach your goal. This is the part that everyone loves to do. Sorry, maybe you've had tactics that you've been doing that work, and you say, we can apply that. Or maybe you say, I'm going to get rid of this because I know it doesn't make sense in doing that. Tactics, don't marry yourself to anything until you have these things dialed, and you can continue on with the tactic you're doing while you're doing this. But what I'm saying is that if you truly want marketed improvement and you want to grow and sustain your business, you need to plan. And that's why you have to, I think you should fill this out. And then once you get your tactics figured out, then you're going to build a system, which I can help with, which is going to be able to help you with keeping yourself consistent so that you don't burn out. One of the biggest things is, it's like first day of school. I got my pencil. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. 3 weeks later, would you have been able to keep that same energy? So it's really important that you build systems that they're attainable. Again, you're not doing too much to burn out. You're going to do just enough that works for you, because maybe you say, I am just in this that I want enough that I can sustain to be able to buy enough raw materials. Great, do your thing. I respect that and I love that. And then you can build a plan to help you reach that. You don't have to be anyone else. You just need to be you and do what's best for you and your needs. So that's why when people say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, sometimes you should look at that. Is it really for you? And it's really based on giving yourself the agency to make the decisions for yourself. So I have a tactics framework workshop that I do, and I'll definitely come back and do it with you guys if you're interested, if Made in Baltimore is down to have me. But we don't play with the toys until we're locked into the things that we want to do, because then you can fly. Then we're fast and furious. And then we don't have to say, why are we choosing this? Why are we doing that? Then we can focus on customers, and we can like really dial it in and make the strategy work for you. So I'm going to have a contest, the 3 points planning framework contest, winner, winner, chicken dinner. So I want whoever signs up at 3points.co, welcome, and you complete and spend time refining your planning template, and you get it to a good place, and then you email me your completed plan. I will take 2 people, and I figure everyone on this is all Baltimore-based businesses, but I'll take 1 Baltimore-based business, and they get a 45-minute one-on-one consultation with me where we're going to review, edit, and optimize your plan. I'm really good at these with people, but I need you to do the homework first. You can't come to me and then we spend the time answering these questions. You have to answer it because it's your business, not my business. So get tight with that and get it to a good place. Sign up for my mailing address, 3points.co, welcome. And then email me your completed plan. I'll check it out. And if it's not at that stage yet, I'll tell you, because someone just filling in nonsense isn't going to play. It's someone who truly does the work, and I feel it, and I'm gonna have to be discriminative because you have to be challenged to make sure you answer these questions. So whoever does it gets a 45-minute one-on-one consultation with me, and we're gonna get your plan to a good place, and we can even talk tactics if we do it as well about your tactics, the thing that everyone wants. So we have about 15 minutes left before we go. I wanted to just have some dialogue again and answer any questions. I know it was a lot. I wanted to see if anyone had any thoughts, feedback. This helps me with what's good and what's not relating to what I'm talking about. So the floor is yours. Don't be shy. I know you want to ask something.
I have a question. I didn't know if I was supposed to raise my hand.
Okay, go.
Or go in chat, or I didn't know what the protocol
Yeah,
was.
people be hitting me private. Stop hitting me private. Okay, go for it, Keisha. You're mute.
Okay, there we go. You mentioned in the outset a book that you read for your financial planning. Any books you would suggest for marketing or blogs or websites or anything along those lines?
Yes, plenty. So the first one I would recommend to you is a book called This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. That's a big one for me. Another one that's good for you guys is called Marketing, a Love Story. And these are really simple books that speak to the way marketing is portrayed, and most people think about it is tactics. And oh, someone has advertising. Marketing is not advertising. Marketing is you communicating with me. We all market every day. When people tell little kids, eat your beans, you'll grow up to be strong. That is marketing. We're trying to help people. Marketing is helping people achieve and reach the dreams that they want for themselves or solve problems. So most people in books and things are so tactics based, and I love tactics. Like any new thing, like, oh, we got to get on Clubhouse, we got to do this. Those things are great when you know who you are and what you want. And these books really deal in the principles of the fundamentals of marketing, which is people are looking to be understood and looking to be helped. And if you communicate that you understand them and you do it in a very clear and efficient manner, then they'll give you business, and you give them a story that they're able to tie themselves into, and it's really going to help you out long term because you're going to build a bond. Think of yourselves as consumers and why you do business with the things you do business with. And then as soon as we all become entrepreneurs and start a business, we think just because we have a product, people are going to automatically just flock to it. It happens in everything. My friends in music, my friends who are career coaches, my friends who are writing books, everything's a widget. We're all trying to sell something, and we all need to understand that the product isn't what sells. It's communicating with people, being empathetic, having empathy, and being there and being consistent. So those two books, Marketing, a Love Story, as well as This Is Marketing, are two really good books that give you a foundation that it's not about tactics and techniques. It's about you guys as people. There's something special and unique about you and why you started your business. Lean into that and be very, very mindful of it. Don't get caught up in the noise. When I was like, I'm trying to figure out my life and what I want to do with it, there's so many people who say, oh, do Bitcoin, do this or do that. I figured out that all I want to do is just have enough money to maybe buy a house at the age of 65 or something like that, and save up. And it eliminated a lot of issues for me. So my point is that it's so much noise out there of what we should and should not do. It's more about being clear on who we are and what we want from each other. And then we're able to go from there. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm going through the comments here. Anything?
I have a question.
You want me to go back to the first slide? Okay, hold on. Before I wrap, then. So I'll leave you guys with the 4 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Everyone looks at when things aren't going right and they're like, why is this not happening? Why aren't people reacting? I told my family about this 5 times and now no one is hitting me up or responding. It's because you didn't properly plan. And things aren't going to always go right even if you properly plan. But you can't just fly by the seat of your pants in this environment where everyone's competing with you. Everyone. When I'm a wrestling fan, when a bunch of other wrestling organizations shut down in the early 2000s, they asked WWE, they were like, so I guess you got no competition. They're like, we're competing with the NFL, we're competing with Twitter, we're competing with someone's text group chain. We are all folk trying to get attention from people that don't have it because we're all busy with text chains, people reaching out to us, Twitter, Instagram, name it, TikTok. So you have to remember that to give yourself the best chance to win and stand out is proper planning. So it's Baltimore, and I'll go back to the first slide. Any other questions?
It looks like someone had a question in the chat. I had a question about connecting your social media to your email marketing. What's a good way to do that?
So when you say social media posts to your email marketing, do you want to give a little bit more context on that? Why are you doing it? Can you speak, Jocelyn?
Just check to make sure you're not muted first, Oslin, before you speak.
So what I can say is need to have some context around it. So that's about technically syndicating posts that when you send out an email that it then syndicates across your own channels, and meaning your brand channels, your Facebook or Instagram or whatever, all the software has that. So MailChimp, when I send out my weekly email, it gives me an option that I can click on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, what have you, that it will push it through on those channels that people can then see it if they want to, because you can also read it like on the web. So all of the software has that, but it depends on which one you have and how you're doing it and why you want to do it.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Hear me? So pretty much, I feel self-conscious when I post on social media, like, hey, get your orders in, because there's no other ways to, remind people that they can purchase from your website besides through social media right now or in person. And are there other ways besides, I guess, email chains in social media posts to like kind of remind people that you're still there for them?
Yeah. What did you sell?
I sell kombucha.
Got it. So, and like I said before, it's really going to be about largely understanding your customer and how they interact and what they're doing, so you then and understanding their life cycle in terms of what they do, so you can hit them at the right time, and with that, then you're more likely to get reactions from them. So I think that probably the best way to do it, and there's a few different ways. So one, you could do just simple retargeting, that you could do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, what have you, that if someone goes to your site and they buy your product, that you can trigger it, that an ad or an email goes to them at a certain point in time. So if you know that if someone buys a certain amount of product and you estimate based on your knowledge, hey, they're going to run out of product in this amount of time, or you have data on how often they order from you, you should probably send a message to them directly through a channel that's automated that says, hey, thanks for ordering from us a few weeks ago. Figure you're probably running low. We have a special promotion, or if you just want to say, you can order here. So you should really personalize it, and personalized marketing is a really strong thing, but it's based on knowing your consumers' habits and what they're doing. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like just doing the, hey everyone, the product's available on social media, it really wears thin. Think of what you interact with on social media and why you do. If someone posts the same thing all the time, or it's super focused on their product specifically, then you're not going to engage with it, or you're just going to ignore it. So we as consumers are looking for things when we need it. It's an occasion-based product. So when I was at Red Bull, the way that they would do it was they would market themselves, meaning communicate with people in the times where people were more likely to drink or want to drink Red Bull. So they would focus on people before they go out to club, or for people who were students that were studying that maybe wanted caffeine to stay up all night, or people who were pre-gaming that wanted to be able to have caffeine before they went out. So they were really specific and targeted. So think of your customers' different inflection points of when they want your beverage, or how or when, maybe brunch, or maybe because they've ordered before and they've ran out. And then place yourself in that flow through some kind of like strategic communication. It can be organic where you email them, or maybe they've sent an ad or something like that.
Okay, thank you. I have a follow-up question, if you don't mind, on that.
Yeah.
So when you say, I mean, you kind of give me a partial answer to the flow part. Can placing myself in their flow, can that means like a way I guess, and like imagery, or kind of just saying like, this is what I do and where you can find me, per se. I'm trying to visualize how to do that exactly.
Yeah. So it can be copy. It can be direct copy. So if it's customers who have bought from you before, specifically, hopefully you have their email address. And by having their email address, and like I said, if you know that people would go through product in a certain amount of time, it could be as simple as an email that is sent to them, and you personalize it where it says, hey James, thanks for buying your order 2 months ago. Wanted to send you this promotion that you can get free shipping. And you send it to them through email. And that's the method that you could do it. And how you want to format and communicate it to people is up to you, and how you want to do it. Now, if you're talking, because the way you asked the question initially was almost like getting re-up orders from people who have bought before. Are you just talking about overall marketing, that you're saying, hey, I have product, please buy some from me? You're muted.
It would kind of more so like, I think in regards to like reaching out to people and kind of following up, I think I do that fairly. But like getting new people, or people who, customers who say, oh, that looks good, like they comment but then they don't actually purchase, like how do you reel them in a little bit more without saying, throwing my bottle on my purse, like this is what you need, how do you say, like, oh yeah, I'm still here, but I don't want you to feel like it's only about making purchases. I want you to feel like I want to be part of, like, I want my product to be part of your lifestyle. And I think you kind of answered that question without me saying it that way, asking the question that way. But I don't want my product to be like, oh yeah, that's the product I buy it off the store. I want it to be like, I believe the brand, and this is why I buy this product. And I don't know how to strengthen that following without making it seem like I need them to buy it.
You're going to do that by completing the brand inventory.
Okay.
And I'm being serious because you need a deeper story. Because if you're just relying on your product, then you're not going to be able to service people. Look at a brand like Oatly. And the first thing people say is, oh, they're a big brand. Tons of people start big brands that fail because they don't create a story around themselves. Oatly is funny. They talk about, hey, we're milk for humans, but not for from cows. Like they just give you a tagline of saying what they are and what they stand for. If your brand has a story and a larger thing that people can buy into in terms of, this is why I drink his kombucha. This is why I support him. And it's not just because everyone does, I'm local and you should buy from me. People do buy because of that. But what's going to make it a little bit deeper and meaningful? So maybe in your social media, you vary your posting where you speak to the things that your customers care about in terms of lifestyle. Do they care about green initiatives? Do they care about being healthy? If you write about and post about all those things, you're going to kind of make them more engaged with your brand, that they care about your brand, and then they want to buy into your product because your brand reflects their life.
Thank you.
Cool. Good luck. I'm telling you, fill out that brand inventory. I know this stuff is like taking medicine, guys. But when you come out on the other side, you're like, I'm done. And then you have your answers. You can answer the questions yourself, and you don't have to keep starting all over again. Cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim, for this incredible presentation. Thank you, all of you, for giving us your time today. Again, this workshop will be available on our website in the coming weeks, and you can head over to madeinbaltimore.org right now to check out some of the previous workshops. Again, make sure you fill out that brand inventory. Don't miss out on your chance to get a one-on-one consultation. Thank you so much to our parent agency, Baltimore Development Corporation. Thank you to the Light Rail for interrupting my greatness. Thank you to our sponsors, M&T Bank and PNC Charitable Trust. And that is it for today, folks. If you have any questions, feel free to follow up with me. I'm going to drop my email in the chat right now. It is programs@madeinbaltimore.org. All right. And that is it, guys. Have a wonderful Friday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody take care.
Thank you.